information regarding synthetic kratom.
Good evening. My name is Donald Farmer. I've had the pleasure of working at Fountain Valley PD for the last 20 years. I'm currently in charge of the Special Investigative Unit as the supervisor, and that unit's responsible for overseeing narcotics, vice activities, gang enforcement, repeat offenders, and emerging crime trends. I've been asked to provide information regarding the substance kratom and its synthesized derivative 7-hydroxymetrotrygiene. I'm probably gonna, I think I mispronounced it, commonly referred to as 7-OH. As law enforcement professionals and as city representatives, it's our collective duty to ensure the safety and well-being of the residents we serve. Do you all have this in front of you by chance?
Yes.
Okay, great. The executive summary. This memorandum provides an overview of kratom, Mitragyna speciosa, a plant-based substance that has gained increasing popularity in recent years as a stimulant and pain relief. Kratom is currently legal under both federal and California law, though some municipalities within the state have restricted or banned the sale and possession due to concerns regarding addiction, misuse, and lack of regulation. The purpose of this study session is to inform the City Council of kratom's legal status, health implications, law enforcement concerns, and possible policy options for the City of Fountain Valley. The intent is not to take immediate action, but to review available data and determine whether future regulation may be warranted. The background, kratom is derived from leaves from the Mitragyna speciosa tree native to Southeast Asia. It has been traditionally used for energy, pain management, relief of opioid withdrawal symptoms. In the U.S., kratom is typically consumed as a powder capsule or tea. That's the substance itself. Pharmacology and effects. Primary active compounds, mitragynine and 7-OH, interact with the brain's opioid receptors. In low doses, it's like a stimulant. In high doses, it's like a sedative or analgesic effects, which is like an opiate. So it's different. It's kind of unique to this synthetic derivative here. Kratom versus hydroxykratom synthetic distinction. So there's kratom, and that's going to be defined. And then a distinction between that and this stuff that's synthesized. Dr. Stephen I, Chief of Service at Hoag Addiction Treatment Centers, described the synthetic kratom as 50 to 100 times stronger than the plant itself. So again, the kratom's been around for a long time, but the synthesized stuff is a new issue that we're dealing with. Reported adverse effects include nausea, itching, sweating, dry mouth, constipation, dependency, vomiting, loss of appetite, anorexia, insomnia, seizures, hallucinations, and withdrawal symptoms. Public health concerns. Both the FDA and the DEA have expressed concerns about kratom safety. In 2016, they considered making it a Schedule I controlled substance, and that did not happen. Pending legislation. There's been legislation proposed a couple times now. Currently, California Assembly Bill 1088 proposes statewide regulation on kratom and products containing 7-OH. So that's the derivative there. This would add kratom products to state Sherman Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Law, prohibit the sales to under 21, require kratom packaging be child resistant and not attractive to children, addressing the marketing issues, setting limits on the concentration, 7-hydroxymetrotrygiene, a kratom alkaloid. So that's where you're going to see the 2% reference, and mandating online retailers using the age verification system. These restrictions align with similar laws already enacted in states like Texas, Arizona, Oklahoma, and Utah. Supporters, including law enforcement and public health groups, argue that the bill provides necessary consumer protections against accidental ingestion, addiction, and exposure among minors. Opponents contend that the limiting concentration could act as a de facto ban on certain kratom products, limiting access for those who use it for pain management or opioid withdrawal. If enacted, AB 1088 would represent California's first comprehensive kratom regulation. If the Assembly bill passes, the Assembly bill passed on June 2nd, 2025. It's been referred to the Senate Health Committee for consideration. We're still awaiting a final vote. As far as local and regional actions, while kratom is legal statewide, local ordinances in certain cities impose restrictions. In August 2025, the County Board of Supervisors enacted an ordinance that bans the sale and distribution of the synthetic kratom products in the unincorporated parts of the county. Synthetic kratom is defined as, in the context as it produces, context as products containing more than 2% of the potent compound 7-OH. San Diego, 2016, banned the manufacturing, sale, and distribution of possession of kratom, classifying it as a synthetic and psychoactive drug due to public health concerns. In 2019, a study by USD found 46.2% of vape shops in San Diego sold kratom despite the ban, indicating lax enforcement. Oceanside, the city, also in San Diego County, prohibits kratom sales, possession under a similar ordinance. Here in Orange County, Newport Beach, in May of 2024, Newport Beach enacted a ban on kratom sales, citing health risks and the need to protect consumers. Upon hearing about this request to inquire about this, I wanted to educate myself as to the actual matter in Fountain Valley. And myself and Officer Shaw on October 7th, we went around in a plainclothes undercover capacity, and we entered the local 6 of our local smoke shops. Of those 6, Officer Shaw, who looks like a cop, quite frankly, and I did undercover, they sold kratom, kratom, the normal product, to him at the Magnolia location. The one at Warner and Magnolia, they sold the synthetic version, 2 different versions, a pill and a liquid form. The third location smelled a kratom product. The first one was a pill. The last one on Harbor sold a liquid form of kratom, not the synthetic kratom off of Harbor Boulevard. So we got pretty much all the above being sold within our city, is what I learned that night. Law enforcement considerations. The Fountain Valley Police Department has not observed significant criminal activity directly linked to kratom use or sales within the city. However, its unregulated availability in smoke shops and online presents potential for misuse. Neighboring jurisdictions' restrictions could also affect local consumption and enforcement challenges. So it matters what the cities around us are doing. Options for the city council on the table, the whole spectrum, but 1, adopt a local ordinance modeled after the Orange County Board of Supervisors, similar to what they just passed. I'm aware too, since I typed this, I believe Huntington just enacted a similar ordinance that mimics the counties. Huntington Beach just did. Tustin just did as well. And that would prohibit sales of kratom products containing more than 2% of the potent compound 7-OH. Prohibit the sale of kratom products to children or adults under the age of 21. Require that kratom packaging be child resistant, not attractive. And mandate online retailers use an age verification system. 2, take no action and continue to monitor the state and federal developments, AB 1088. I spoke with a CNOA, California Narcotics Officers Association lobbyist today, who reached out, and he's a reputable source. His name's Ryan Sherman. He shared with me that it sounds like the derivative, the synthesized kratom product, the 7-OH, is likely going to be a Schedule I controlled substance. He didn't have any ETA or anything like that, but that's pending as well. But that's specific not to the kratom, but to the derivative. Consider an ordinance, number 3, consider an ordinance limiting or prohibiting kratom sales, distribution, or advertising within the city limits, similar to Newport Beach. Initiate public education campaigns on the risks of unregulated substances. Those are all options, and everything else is on the table as well. That's more or less the recap. I do want to share that I have gotten multiple phone calls over the last 2 days, quite several today for instance, and they've ranged from a mother with a sad story of losing her child to kratom overdose. She advised that that was the actual kratom substance, not the derivative, so the actual natural substance. There was 6, it sounds like, via reputable sources cited in LA Times and per CNOA contact that I had. 6 overdose deaths of the synthetic derivative in LA County last month. Locally, I am not aware of any here within the city of Fountain Valley as far as overdose deaths or overdoses. Speaking with my partner is imperfect, but I checked our local management, our records management system, and did like a Google type search of Kratom within our RMS report writing system. And I only found one instance, April of this year. So nothing alarming there as far as quantity. And then, but I did also learn of, I don't know why I didn't queue up in that, so that's imperfect, but I learned of a DUI arrest where someone, that was a part of the impairment that he was driving around impaired with. And that's what I have.
All right, thank you so much, Officer,
Yeah.
for the wealth of information for tonight on this topic matter. Before we dive into for my colleague to have discussions, is any public comment on this matter?
Yes, we have quite a few people on Zoom waiting to comment.
How many do we have?
I believe 10.
Okay, 3 minutes. That's gonna pass 6:15. So I guess we gotta get to it. Thank you. If we reduce,
I've let everybody know on Zoom that we have quite a few speakers, so
okay.
if
May
you're
not
going to
pick up.
repeat things. maybe-
Yeah, so just repeat for those who are on Zoom, if the same message is being carried, the rest, if you could either carry a different message or shorter, and if it's the same message, just say, previous speaker have said the same thing. That'd be helpful, as we have a meeting at 6 p.m.
Our
Thank you.
first speaker
They
is
want to.
Laura Romney.
It's the choice.
Can you hear me?
Laura?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So my name is Laura Romney, and I'm the president of the International Plant and Herbal Alliance. But most importantly, I'm a patient with trigeminal neuralgia, which is nicknamed the suicide disease because it's very, very painful. I've had this condition for 13 years, and it's been brutal. I even had neurosurgery and an implant in my face and failed on dozens of pharmaceuticals. But 8 years ago, I traded opioids for Kratom, and now I'm thriving. With the opioid crisis in full swing, patients like myself are basically unable to access pain medication. It's really critical that alternatives are legal and accessible. Please, I'm begging you, do not ban whole leaf natural Kratom. Instead, please responsibly regulate it so that it's adult use only, properly labeled, and that all products contain less than 1 milligram of synthetic, which is a 2% cap. And by the way, it's not difficult to make this distinction. Just a little bit of training is easy to do. 7-OH is not natural Kratom. Please do not assume that these products are the same. Even the FDA and HHS at their July 29th press conference have distinguished between the two. I highly suggest you listen to this press conference. You'll learn a lot. Fountain Valley should be following the FDA's advice and banning 7-OH and not natural whole leaf Kratom. Kratom has been used safely for thousands of years and has hundreds of peer-reviewed scientific studies to back it. 7-OH has zero. Recently, an 8-factor analysis was conducted on 7-OH to determine if it qualifies to be scheduled as Schedule 1. The results were shared with the DEA just a few weeks ago. The FDA's recommendation to schedule 7-OH has now been scientifically supported. We are awaiting the final word from the DEA on scheduling. I remind you that the FDA has said over and over again they are not suggesting a Kratom ban, only a ban on 7-OH. Happily, there have been numerous California cities that have passed good ordinances that regulate Kratom and ban 7-OH. Cities like Orange County, Riverside, and Laguna Niguel, which last night they just passed it. You did mention San Diego in your backup, but actually San Diego banned back in 2016 when the FDA first recommended Kratom to be scheduled. What you may not know is that at that point, when the FDA was recommending scheduling of Kratom, the DEA conducted an 8-factor analysis on Kratom, and they refused to schedule it because of the embarrassingly poor evidence and the potential for a Kratom ban to cause public harm. So again, this is why, a place like San Diego went ahead and banned at that time. It was kind of a knee-jerk reaction to what they thought would be a federal ban, but didn't turn out to be. I've sent your board an email inviting your board to take advantage of our Kratom education. We work with localities all over the United States to help people understand kratom and good regulation and how to protect consumers. So again, contact me if you're interested in that. Again, please regulate and do not ban kratom. Instead, ban 7-OH and other synthetic derivatives so that your citizens can stay safe. Thank you very
Laura, your
much.
time is up. Thank you. Next speaker is Melody. Hello?
Hi, my name is Melody Wolf, and I wanted to talk to you tonight about the HHS FDA press conference that I participated in July. They asked me to participate as an 11-year daily kratom consumer to talk about its benefits and to differentiate it from 7-OH. I had to clear my comments before I even got up to speak. And both the HHS and the FDA, they were perfectly fine with what I was going to say. The benefits for me is I no longer need a walker or wheelchair. And even though I still have pain right now, I don't need any mobility aids. I have about 11 different painful conditions, and they had me bedridden for 8 years. Our home was so dismal that my kids, when they were in elementary school, they had to have fans on in their room at night to cover up the sounds of me crying in pain. That's no way for kids to have to grow up. And I just know that there are other moms that haven't either come across it or they just need more information about it. Anyhow, they asked me to speak knowing fully what I was going to say. And I've also been asked to speak at the 2024 U.S. Congressional briefing on kratom. And the chairman of the VA committee, Congressman Bergman, 3-star Marine General, he is very pro-kratom, and he was on the committee and asked me to speak. Now, 7-OH, I'm not talking about the tiny bit that can come right during the drying process, because there's a tiny bit that can occur. That is not what they're talking about. They're talking about when that tiny little bit is taken and synthesized to just something that no longer is kratom. In fact, at the U.S. Congressional briefing, Dr. McCurdy held up model representations. And he said, these two do not look at all the same. And so the scientists at the highest level has determined that the problem is 7-OH. And that's what I would like off the shelves. And I would 100 support a ban against 7-OH. But please keep the plain powder available. There are people that is helping all day, every day. I'm one of them. I was able to provide a year of childcare for my granddaughter. My daughter's childcare center shut down 2 weeks before she had to go back. This is during COVID, so there is nothing left to go to. So I was able to move in with them and take care of a newborn for a year. And I did the same thing this summer. I was chasing a 3.5-year-old all over the local parks, and it's just meant a lot to my family. And then I'm going to have my husband, David, he's just going to put in just a couple statements about his experience being the husband of a wife that consumes it daily.
David, you're up.
Thank you very much. My name is Dave Wolf, and my wife has been, as she said, using plain powder kratom for 11 years. We buy it from only a vetted vendor who tests for purity. So it's not off the street stuff. It's just, and I take it, I'm a member of the 501st Legion. We do Star Wars costuming for like community and charity groups. And I take it for my sciatica. And I know that on days like that, I'm going to be on my feet for hours. So anyway, I just wanted to report that kratom, just the natural leaf plain powder kratom, has given me my wife back, given my kids their mom back, given my wife her mobility back. Just can't say enough good stuff about it. That's about all I have to say. Just, there's a huge difference between plain powder kratom and 7-hydroxy. That's the dangerous stuff. As a matter of fact, anything reported as a kratom death is usually 7-hydroxy that's broken down because it does not survive along in the bloodstream, and it breaks down so it looks like the person has ingested just a small amount of kratom. So that's where the biochemistry breaks down, according to Dr. Christopher McCurdy. Nobody knows enough more about kratom than he does. So that's about all I had to say. Thank you very much.
Jennifer Gillis.
Hi, yes. My name is Jennifer Gillis. I'm a kratom consumer and advocate. 19 years ago, I was diagnosed with Schreiber myelitis and became a lifelong chronic pain patient. After losing access to prescription pain medicines through no fault of my own, I spent years struggling to manage my pain until I discovered Whole Leaf Kratom in May of 2019. It truly gave me my life back. Kratom has been the lifeline for so many people like me who just want to live a better quality of life. Whole leaf kratom, when properly tested and labeled, has helped countless people like myself have a better quality of life. What puts consumers at risk are the unregulated or enhanced 7-OH products being marketed as kratom, which are entirely different from the natural plant. As mentioned, even the FDA has acknowledged the difference during their press conference, stating their concern is with 7-OH and not whole leaf kratom. I'm asking that you support regulations such as age restrictions, mandatory lab testing, accurate labeling, and limits on 7-OH. That protects public health while preserving the freedom of choice for responsible adults. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. Thank you for your time. Have a great night.
Misty Brown. 1 second, Misty.
Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Misty Brown. I'm going to keep my testimony short and sweet so y'all can move along. I'd like to give a shout out to Rick for keeping the Zoom chat very professional. I like that. I was trapped in active addiction for 11 years. I was, part of the population that was overprescribed pain medication and such. And I was stuck in that addiction loop for a very long time. And what saved me was I was able to walk into a smoke shop and buy kratom in June of 2019. That's what stopped that whole addiction loop that I was in. So banning the sales doesn't make any sense. Someone like me is probably struggling in your community. So the old Misty, actually. So I walked in, I was ID'd, I was carded. The kratom was sitting behind a glass counter and it was locked up. So that's how I was able to attain it. And then my journey. I've been a kratom consumer and advocate and activist for almost 6.5 years now. I do want to say that there was a Knoxville cop. This is how potent the synthetic 7-OH products are. In June of this year, a Knoxville cop that was in uniform on duty got caught stealing the synthetic 7-OH products. And then in August, he quit. He resigned before the disciplinary hearing happened. So that's how powerful and potent these synthetic 7-OH products are. Addiction doesn't discriminate. I don't know what the cop is doing now. I hope he got help. Hopefully he found whole leaf kratom because, whole leaf kratom is an exit from addiction. These synthetic 7-OH products are an entrance into one. So please, y'all, do your due diligence. Know how to differentiate between whole leaf kratom and synthetic 7-OH products. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak.
John Schinholzer.
I'm John Schenholzer, the Advocacy Director for American Veterans for Kratom Safe. I'm also a United States Marine Corps infantry veteran. And in 1982, I got clean and sober in the Marine Corps in between my second and third deployment. I've been in boots on the ground for 43 plus years in the recovering community. I'm a legend in this space. I passed the Narcan bill in Virginia years ago, the first red state. Got Medicaid expanded to cover, mental health and addiction, and just a long list of things, but also founded the largest nonprofit recovery community organization in Virginia with over 150 beds. So I've been dealing with this for decades, and I've been studying kratom for 15 years now. And as a harm reduction tool goes, kratom is by far the best harm reduction tool I've ever seen. I've seen literally thousands of people personally, but I know of tens of thousands nationwide who were able to pivot from a one-pill kills to powder kratom, FDA regulatory packaged product. And alcoholics, meth addicts, crack addicts, prescription addicts, they're able to get off of these more dangerous products and on to kratom. And Johns Hopkins proved through a study that kratom does have a 3% addiction profile. However, alcohol has got an 18% addiction profile. Cannabis got 11% addiction profile. You can go right down the list. Kratom has the best addiction profile of them all, and it's the powder. It's one of the easiest ones to get off of. Also, Richmond, Virginia has like 5,000 inmates scattered around several municipality jails, which I have access to. I go into these jails regular and give them my hope shot and, lead them to recovery. But I surveyed recently all the sheriffs, all the Commonwealth attorneys. We don't have one person locked up for a kratom-related crime. It's not a public safety threat. And remember, the ones that get addicted to it, the very few small that do it, it's a mental illness at that point. They know what they're doing. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just please regulate it. Regulation works. And thank you so much for your time.
Anthony?
Hi, my name is Anthony, and I'm a lifelong California resident. I'm 29 years old, and I've been a kratom user for 6 years. I'm not here to defend synthetic 7-hydroxy derivatives. I've never used them, and I fully agree they should be regulated or restricted. But please don't punish responsible adults who use natural kratom leaf powder. It's a mild traditional plant that's been safely used for generations. I still struggle every day with anxiety, stress, and depression. The pressure of my life is constant, but kratom is what gets me through it. It's the only thing that keeps me functional, stable, and able to provide for myself. Without it, I would likely fall back into alcoholism. Kratom didn't turn me into an addict. It helped me overcome crippling lethargy, rebuild my motivation, and become a small business owner. I'm living proof that kratom can save lives. Lumping lab-tested kratom leaf together with synthetic 7-OH is a scientific and moral mistake. Those synthetic capsules contain up to 1,000 times the alkaloid concentration of natural kratom powder. Even the Federal Department of Health and Human Services reached out to the state a month ago, urging California to make that distinction clear. Texas chose a 7-OH limit over a blanket ban. Why can't we? The actions of our state's public health department are authoritarian and not making that distinction. How can we allow adults to legally buy alcohol and cigarettes, substances proven to kill, yet criminalize a natural plant that helps people live? Something like 500 people a day die from alcohol versus 1 reported death from kratom powder with no confirmed evidence. Please do not force people like me back into despair and addiction. And a couple more things. Please stop using the term kratom as a blanket term to describe 7-OH. This whole problem wasn't really an issue on people's radar until these synthesized alkaloids became popular, and these greedy 7-OH companies started marketing them as drugs and targeting teens and college kids with their online ads. As for the complaint about lacking an age limit, Misty, as she mentioned, was carded for the kratom she purchased, and every smoke shop I've ever been to has made it clear that you need to be 18 or older, and 21 is a reasonable age as well. But we've got all these toxic, carcinogenic chemicals in our food and our everyday products and household goods, and we're allowing this stuff, like children, to be exposed to this stuff on a daily basis, warping their development and giving people cancer. So how is that less of a problem than a mildly habit-forming tea? Thank you for your time and compassion.
Dijon Evans. Dijon?
Hi, I'm sorry. Having troubles getting unmuted. My name is, excuse me. My name is Dion Evans. and I'm a 9-year kratom consumer. I have been, I'm terminal. My medical conditions are very numerous. In 2016, with the opioid crisis and patients being denied medications or opiates, I kept trying to do it on my own, but I have the same as Laura Romney. I have full body CRPS and trigeminal neuralgia. They call them the suicide disease, and there's a reason for that. After 2 years of trying to make it on my own and not being able to do it, I was getting ready to take my own life. That's really hard for me to say because I have beautiful reasons to live and I love life. I was a UCI med student. I'm a California resident all of my life. And with Kratom, I have been able to at least get out of bed. For 15 years, I was bedridden and unable to do anything for myself. I had to have constant care. Kratom has allowed me to finally be able to get out of bed, into my wheelchair, and move about the house. I participated in rallies, and I have been able to enjoy my grandkids, and now I'm going to be a great grandma. I never thought I'd live to see my grandkids graduate from high school. Kratom gave me that. It allowed me to see them graduate. It allowed me to see one of them get married. And now I'm going to enjoy the birth of his daughter. If you ban Kratom, it's going to block a major lifeline for millions of people, whether it's addiction or whether it's pain or other medical issues like anxiety and depression. Kratom changes lives and it changes it for the better. Thank you.
Was that it, Dion? Oh. Next up is Allison Smith.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Fabulous, thank you. My name is Allison Smith, and I am the Director of Government Affairs for the Global Kratom Coalition. We are an alliance of consumers and scientific experts and industry leaders who are looking to enact regulations that ensure consumers have access to safe and regulated natural kratom. And I'm here today speaking to you virtually to protect, because we all have the same goal. We want to protect the public from harmful, concentrated, and adulterated products, and while protecting access to natural kratom for the 23 million Americans who choose to consume it. We at the GKC urge you to achieve this goal by regulating and banning synthetic concentrated 7-OH products. So there are 3 pillars for this. The first one being age gating, requiring ID verification at stores and keeping minors from purchasing these products. 2, requiring child-resistant packaging that's not attractive and ingredient labeling. And 3rd, most importantly, ban adulterated synthetic concentrated 7-OH products. You can do this by establishing a conservative limit on 7-OH. Most municipalities and kratom regulations across the country have a 2% cap on 7-OH, which allows the natural leaf but eliminates high potency products. This way, you're keeping consumers in a regulated channel and away from gray markets. You're giving the city clear tools to seize non-compliant synthetic products. And this aligns with other jurisdictions such as Orange County, which you mentioned, Ventura, Riverside, and Laguna Niguel. This is the balanced approach that mirrors the direction of pending statewide legislation as well as recent federal action. And I won't repeat what everyone else said, but I will flag that the FDA did a single ascending dose clinical trial that was published in 2024 that demonstrated that natural kratom leaf is highly tolerable in humans, even at servings 6 times higher than the normal leaf consumed. And I'm happy to send you that report. Above all else, I remind you that natural kratom and concentrated synthetic 7-OH are not the same thing. And we can truly protect all consumers by taking a thoughtful, regulated approach. I thank you guys for your concern, and I welcome the opportunity to bring any additional studies, reports, and experts to your attention to help with your decision making. Thank you.
Maddie?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Maddie.
Awesome. Okay, here, I'll just start with my little speech that I wrote up. My name is Maddie, and I'm a white-collar professional in cybersecurity, a responsible kratom consumer, and living with multiple hormone deficiencies from a pituitary tumor. I'm here to urge you to support regulation, not prohibition. Let's be clear, 7-OH is not kratom. 7-OH is a synthetic, chemically manipulated compound that's far stronger than natural kratom and has no place in legitimate products at excess levels. When I say kratom is natural, I'm not being fallacious by stating that it being natural alone means safe. Natural kratom leaf contains only trace harmless levels of 7-OH, less than 0.01%, and has been used for hundreds of years and is in the same family as coffee. There have been no confirmed deaths from tested unadulterated kratom. The rare harms come from contaminated or synthetic products. The very problem the Kratom Consumer Protection Act, or the KCPA, is designed to solve and already has in 13 states. For many, kratom is a lifeline, a safe, natural tool that supports well-being, productivity, and quality of life where pharmaceuticals have failed. For my mother, she is unable to take prescription opioids without having significant side effects and becoming ill. She lives with severe rheumatoid arthritis and has a fusing spine. Kratom helped her walk again with less pain after years of suffering. And for me, someone who has battled multiple endocrine deficiencies caused by pituitary tumor, kratom restored energy, focus, and relief when the remaining symptoms such as pituitary apathy and fatigue couldn't be managed by hormone replacement therapy alone. It's helped me stay productive and successful in my career. I want to clarify one thing, and that's something that is misunderstood. Dependence is not addiction. Dependence simply means your body adapts to something like caffeine, antidepressants, or insulin. Addiction, on the other hand, means compulsive, harmful use despite negative consequences. Millions are dependent on caffeine, but we usually don't call ourselves coffee addicts, do we? The same principle applies here. Responsible kratom consumption can cause dependence in some, but it's not addiction usually. 7-OH is a different story. Please don't make people like my mother and I into criminals. We represent millions. We represent millions of responsible consumers who use kratom safely and legally every day. What we're asking for is simple oversight, not fear. Regulation, not prohibition. Support and let legislation be guided by tried and true regulations like the KCPA and similar laws that ensure products are tested, pure, and sold responsibly with age limits and labeling. Choose facts, choose compassion, choose regulation over prohibition. Thank you.
Susan?
Yes, hey. My name is Susan Cave. I'm also the mother of William Cave, who died at 32 years of age from raw leaf kratom. I'm also a member of Kratom Danger Awareness. I know you've heard from all of the pro-kratom people, but I want to explain to you why regulating kratom, raw leaf kratom, will not work. Kratom doesn't have a safety profile or standardized dosing. Labels and age restrictions do not change kratom's pharmacology. States that have passed regulation laws like Nevada and Arizona continue to see kratom-involved deaths. Raw kratom alone causes death, as proven by toxicology reports and medical examiner reports. There's over 40 alkaloids in raw kratom and still not a complete understanding of the two main ones, mitragynine and 7-hydroxymitragynine. The kratom plant and products made from kratom are extremely variable in their makeup. Every leaf is different depending on where it's grown overseas, the environmental growing conditions, how it's harvested, how long it's cured, how long it's allowed to ferment, and the manufacturer's processing technique. Mitragynine found in the raw kratom leaf is metabolized naturally inside the body into 7-hydroxymitragynine. Because of this fact, you cannot say that 7-hydroxymetragenine is a completely different substance than raw leaf kratom. They are one and the same. And most assuredly, a regulation or Consumer Protection Act will not stop this natural process that occurs in the body. And it's a known fact that kratom manufacturers, retailers, users, advocates say kratom is a do-it-yourself remedy for everything from pain, cough, and depression to diarrhea and addictions. Making medical claims about supplements is not even legal. Right now, there are online forums full of stories of people who became addicted to something they thought was going to help them. There are websites like Grow Kratom that actually warns the consumer to not use their product if they're subject to any form of drug testing. Regulations can't keep pace with a $1.5 billion kratom industry. And there will always be bad actors that will look into a market, will enter a market, find a product they can exploit, recreate it, synthesize it to become a product more addictive and deadly than ever before. Right now on social media, you can easily find links and websites with people giving step-by-step instruction on how to make 7-OH from raw kratom. Any regulation, no matter how strongly written, cannot stop the industry's manipulation of alkaloids.
Susan, your time is up.
Cannot stop overdoses, and cannot prevent more
Susan, your
families
time
from
is up.
suffering
Thank
the
you.
loss mine has endured. Please consider banning kratom.
Ryan Sherman.
Yes. Hi, can you hear me? Sorry about that.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Ryan Sherman. I'm with the California Narcotic Officers Association. Our mission is to educate the public and membership on the dangers of narcotic and drug abuse. The over 7,000 members of CNOA include state, local, and federal peace officers, prosecutors, law enforcement personnel, and other national and international associates. Today, I'm here to testify on behalf of CNOA and share with you our strong support for your proposal to prohibit the sale, distribution of 7-hydroxymetragenine and in the city of Fountain Valley. Medical research has shown that 7-OH binds to the same receptors in the brain as traditional opioids, creating a risk for dependency, withdrawal, and overdose, especially when combined with other substances. The CNOA has been working with state lawmakers in Sacramento to pass AB 1088 this year, and prior years we worked with other legislation as well. We've also been working with numerous city councils and boards of supervisors, urging them to take action. Most recently, this past week, the Riverside County Board of Supervisors approved an ordinance very similar to the proposal that you're seeing here, almost word for word identical to the Orange County proposal, which was adopted over the summer. We're also working with a number of other cities. I believe Tustin just this week voted to pass their first reading of an identical bill that mirrors the OC regulations. And Huntington Beach, we worked with them earlier this year as well. When they passed theirs, we're in the process of working with a number of cities and counties throughout the state. We'd urge your support to help us make sure that there's some consistent application of these laws, especially throughout Orange County for now. But we're hoping to get that through the state and eventually the nation. So I thank you for your time and urge you to please support this measure.
Aaron Berthold.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, Aaron.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak. My name is Dr. Aaron Berthold. I got my PhD at the University of Florida, where I spent 5 years looking at kratom and the pharmacology of the whole plant and its alkaloids. I think everyone's done a great job speaking to why kratom is important to them. So I'm not going to say too much. I think the distinction, even from the police officer, I think did a great job explaining the difference between these derivative compounds that are coming from the kratom leaf raw material and kratom leaf material itself. I don't know Fountain Valley's experience with hemp, but if it's been anything like it's been in other places, it's a similar situation where people are coming in and just making up all sorts of compounds and kind of sliding under the safety of that parent plant. So I would say 7-hydroxymitragynine is the compound right now, or 7-OH, that everyone's paying attention to. But if Fountain Valley were to do something, I would consider, banning any synthetic derivatives, just so you wouldn't have any issues in the future. And then just offer myself up as a resource. If you do plan to do something, you can always reach out to me, and I'm willing to help craft a regulation. Thank you.
I have no further requests to speak.
Great. Thank you so much, City Attorney. Mr. City Clerk. So that we also, all of the council also receive a letter from, I just want to acknowledge from Mr. Christopher Diné. He also talked about his experience with Kratom, and he talks about the benefits of the natural Kratom, and he also has a concern to the public danger reference to synthetic Kratom, which is 7-OH. So I want to bring this up. It was an item that I brought it up because there was just some concern on this product. But what I really was concerned is the synthetic Kratom, which is the 7-OH. And I'd like to thank Sergeant Donald Farmer for today for bringing out the difference of two, to bring so a little bit more knowledge on that. My concern is more on the synthetic Kratom rather than the natural Kratom. As you could see, actually, the natural Kratom you could find in the tea product, and it's not harmful. It's the synthetic that I'm more concerned. That's why I want to bring up to our council to have these discussions, whether we are going to put forth an ordinance or ban on the reference to synthetic, which is 7-OH Kratom. And I'd like to open the floor for further discussions. And I think Officer Donald Farmer has laid out some of the, actually 5 point what we should do. So before we make any decisions, I'd like to open the floor for my colleague. If there's any input, would you like to deliver?
Mr. Mayor, it does appear we have one more request to speak.
Oh, we do. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Venus Usher.
Hi, thank you so much. Good evening. My name is Venus Usher, and I'm calling to ask you, I'm asking you to please keep plain leaf kratom legal and regulated responsibly. I've been consuming it for 8.5 years after an FDA-approved medication caused me 17 years of severe pain and misdiagnoses. Plain leaf kratom tea gave me my life back. It helps me function, stay clear-minded, and I can live with dignity again. But people are suffering because of misinformation. Marshall Price was sentenced to 10 years in prison for kratom, plain leaf kratom. He was murdered in jail. Shayna Brown now faces 10 years to life for the same thing, possessing a natural, unadulterated plant that helps people. These are not criminals. They are human beings caught in a broken system. Please don't turn patients into prisoners. Regulation saves lives. Bans destroy them. Thank you for your time, your compassion, and your willingness to hear the truth. And thank you for hearing me. I appreciate it.
No other requests to speak.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and close public comment now. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. We didn't close earlier. Public comments. Oh, that's fine. Okay, go ahead.
I have something short.
Go ahead.
Sergeant Farmer, please, thank you. Great presentation, thank you. And I have a question, just out of curiosity, what would someone want with a something more than 2% of the potent compound 7-hydroxymitragynine, the 7-OH? What would somebody want to do with something that's more than 2%, and what would happen to the person?
Simply put, my understanding is that they're seeking to get high, and a desired effect that they would feel just like any drug.
Sure. So I kind of like the county's ordinance already and have a question on that. There's 4 points on here. The last speaker, Erin, well, not the last speaker, but the second to the last, Erin Berthold, she talked about banning synthetic derivatives, but I don't specifically see that in any of the 4 points on here. Do we know if that is? Because if
For
it's
the
not,
county ordinance?
yeah,
Yes, I believe
yeah,
the verbiage is greater than 2%.
okay,
My understanding of that is the greatest levels of anything natural falls beneath 2%. So it was a conservative point to have a distinction between the two. Anything greater than 2% would be synthesized in one of those products that would be essentially part of the ban.
sure. So if, I mean, this is just my thoughts. I mean, I was leaning towards number 1 with specifying to ban synthetic derivatives.
That's great.
That was it. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else would like to chime in? Okay, Councilmember Grandis.
Yeah, I'm just curious, how would we enforce this?
To be very honest, I don't know. I would have to really look into that for the follow through side of it, and I could do that and work with city attorney and law enforcement. This is relatively new as far as these bans.
Is there, and this might, I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this, but are there any other of these types of products that are banned in Fountain Valley that are legal outside of Fountain Valley? Any kind of product?
Marijuana is banned in Fountain Valley. That's the simple one to compare to.
Okay. That was kind of banned everywhere, and then it was allowed in certain places, so a little bit different, but I see your point. And you said that the state legislature is kind of in the final stages of doing something with this?
Where it's at specifically, I don't want to misconstrue that, but
Assembly passed AB 1088 on June 2nd, 2025.
yes.
And it's referred to the Senate Health Committee for consideration, where it's still awaiting a final vote.
So if the Senate bans it, then it's a statewide issue and it'll be banned everywhere.
I believe so.
Okay. My thought on this is a little bit outside of our lane. I just don't know enough about it. I think we should rely on the professionals. You have the Orange County Healthcare Agency that's primarily responsible for stuff in Orange County. And it sounds like they're not too far off with the Senate making a final decision. So I would at least say, let's wait to see what comes forward. If the state does something, we don't need a special ordinance in Fountain Valley. And if they don't, then we can then do an ordinance in Fountain Valley. I think that just makes the most sense.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Hopper.
Yeah, I have a question. So, yeah, I guess my question is more about the best place for this ordinance, for this issue to be decided. And it seems like the county health care would normally make this kind of, I guess, decision, or the state. So I guess one question I have is, if the county passed an ordinance, doesn't that apply to everywhere in the county?
Right, I thought I heard during the presentation that it was only for the unincorporated areas of the county.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, and
Okay, well, couldn't they also issue a order from the county health department that applies to the whole county?
theoretically, generally speaking, the state passes general laws that are applicable statewide. City issues laws for its jurisdiction, county issues laws for its jurisdiction. But your example about a health directive makes sense. They did it with COVID. Theoretically, they could do it with Grantham.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it's as Councilmember Grandis says, I think it's a little bit out of our lane. It doesn't seem like there's been a huge issue in Fountain Valley, and I don't want to wait until there is an issue, but at the same point, same point, it seems like the county or state would be the place to take a lead on this issue.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Councilmember Constantine.
Sergeant Farmer, if if I heard correctly, please correct me if I'm not right on this. Did you say that when you guys went out and bought this product at various stores, there was one place that was selling in Fountain Valley the 2%, the higher than 2% of the 7-OH?
Yes.
That's not okay.
All right.
Now that we know, we have a responsibility. This is not okay.
Thank you, Councilmember Constantine.
Thank you.
I agree.
Well, as you have heard tonight, first I want to thank you to the public that speak up on these issues. A lot of them are in favor of kratom, but they are in favor of the natural kratom and not the synthetic. And I want to remind to my colleague that just yesterday, there was 4 deaths in kratom in the city of Fullerton. On October 13, there was 3 deaths in LA County. 1 death in Fountain Valley to wait for the state to enact is too many. Explain that to the child of your resident when they pass away, because this is a decision that we can make here. Because if we don't pass this, and all we do is follow the county ordinance, which is prohibit the sale of kratom product containing more than 2% of the potent compound 7-hydroxamate triguanine, that is the key right there. So I am in favor that we need to follow the state. And this is not prohibiting the natural product, but the synthetic. It's a synthetic that kills people. And that's what we need to stand, and that's what we need to do to protect the resident of Fountain Valley and not wait for the state on the decision on this. How long that's going to take? A month, 2 months, 6 months, a year? We don't know. Of course, as you know, if it passed on the state bill, it got to go to the Senate. And the Senate's got to go to the governor's desk to sign off. How many more deaths do we need for us to make a decision? The decision is here, and I think that we need to pass an ordinance to follow the county. So
The county's just in the.
right, but we follow their
For that.
basically I'm saying we follow their ordinance to prevent the ban on the synthetic product.
Yeah, well, shame on them for that.
Yeah,
Just doing.
so-
Well, you made a comment that I think there's a correction on. You said it has to go through the assembly still. It's already been passed.
No,
in the
something already. I
assembly.
said already something. Now it needs to go to the Senate.
Now it needs to go to the Senate.
Then-
So I don't want this in our city. That's not the question whether we want it or don't want it in the city. The question is who's the right policy and how's the enforcement going to be in the ordinance? So maybe what we do is something to say we're compromised, but maybe what we do is start working on this in parallel with what the state's doing. And if the state beats us to it, they have more teeth. Let's follow the state, and we don't need to do it anymore in the city. But if it comes back and the state does not do it, then we go forward. So I think I want to go forward. I agree with you. Just how we go forward. So whether it's the state or the city that takes the lead.
Your concern was, I think earlier, was how are we going to enforce this? I think that was your concern.
That's one of them. Yeah.
Okay, so that's one. What is your second concern?
The actual policy. Do we need it in the city of Fountain Valley if the state's going to move forward with it anyway?
My questions for you will be the timeline. If the state takes 6 months, as you know, it goes to the Senate floor. It has to go to the first reading, second reading, and so forth. 6 months. You have a death in Fountain Valley. How do you explain that to the resident?
Okay, you're getting a bit dramatic. So first off, hold on, let me answer your question. You asked me. So I'm not saying we don't want to do this. I don't know how long it would take us to do an ordinance. We would probably take several meetings to do it as well. I said, do it in parallel. And if you brought this up and this is so important to you and the Senate is going to vote on this, my question to you is why haven't you talked to Senator Tony Strickland and asked him when they're voting on it? Because you should know that answer.
It's going to be presented to them, and they don't know they have the vote for it. They don't know.
When is it being presented to them?
I don't think I kind of talked, he didn't give me an answer.
So again, I'm going to say, let's move forward, but let's do it in parallel with what the state's doing, and the state beats us to it. We're done.
So I will have to ask this question to our city attorney. Reference to the time, because you said if we adopt the county ordinance, is it much faster than create our own ordinance?
Sure, if we already had a template, of course.
It's still creating our own ordinance. We're just copying what they did. We still have to do our own
Right,
ordinance.
but the timeline's much shorter. That's what he's saying.
I don't know. How quickly can we do an ordinance? I don't know the answer to that.
Well, we'd have to set a public hearing, so that takes
Right.
newspaper notice, then it takes a first read and a second read, which have to be 5 days apart, and then there's a 30-day wait period.
We're into early next year. And the Senate may approve this at the next meeting. You don't know.
Then
So my point is, let's move forward. But if the state beats us to it, then we don't need to continue.
okay, so the direction is to move forward with the alignment. Is that what you're saying? Move forward with the alignment with the ordinance of West County? Okay, all right, I'm okay with that. I just want to make sure that we move forward with following the county ordinance, and if like Councilmember Grandis, if the state comes out and pass the state ordinance references, that's great. But I think that, in my view, I think the city will move faster than the state.
Sure.
All right, Officer Farmer, you have the direction, I hope?
Direction?
Yes. I think that you're looking for direction for
So
tonight.
go forth on the one.
What we'll do is we'll
Mimic.
prepare a template ordinance using the counties. It'll be in Fountain Valley's template, and we'll be ready when council wants us to move forward with with our own ordinance, assuming the state doesn't move forward with theirs.
One of the people who made a public comment has a draft ordinance as well. If you council would be interested in seeing that as well.
They can go ahead and email it to me or the city clerk or sorry, Rick.
All right.
I will let
Yes,
them
have
know.
them email to the city clerk, please.
All right, thank you so much, Officer Farmer.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have a lot of people waiting here. Before I start, I just want to double check with my client. Do you need a few minutes recess, or you need a couple of minutes recess? I like to use the restroom a little bit.
About
Yes.
time
All right, we'll
they
take a
use
2-minute
the
recess.
Do what? About time they use the bathroom.
Dude, I mean that was a great hearing.
Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm pretty sure they're done with the kratom, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna leave the chat or leave the Zoom.
Yeah.
So I'm fixing to look up what is their county? So I'm gonna get on to the Google machine. Did you already pull it up?
I thought I had it up already. Let's see. Orange County.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Orange County did their ordinance already. All they got to do is copy and paste, make whatever little tweaks they want in it. But Orange County they're regulating kratom and banning the synthetic 7-OH.
Huh. Somebody's at my house. Nobody ever comes to our house. Who is that?
Probably somebody's selling some solar windows.
At 8:30 at night. Oh, hey, Mama.
Hey, Jen Mama.
I'm like trying to. Well, that was good. That was good. We needed that. That mayor was like cool.
Yeah, he was hella chill.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Bunny Bean. How can
Oh,
I
I'm
find
sorry. I'll
out
put this up.
what?
I was just putting up the comments.
Oh.
I always forget.
How can I find out when these are happening so I can send in a comment or email? Are there any others coming up soon? Well, sign up for the American Kratom Association. Go to americankratom.org and sign up for their newsletters. That way, whenever hearings happen, they send out email blasts. Or pay attention to what where do you follow me on TikTok? But either way, I mean, it's the American Kratom Association that sends out these email blasts that let us know that these hearings are happening. So
Yeah, yeah. Hey, hey.
but we just
Yeah, that
figured,
was a good hearing.
yes. Oh, I need to leave the Zoom.
She said, yeah.
But we just figured that we will live stream these hearings when they're happening, so that everybody can see how it happens behind the scenes. Oh, I need to stop sharing on the screen.
Oh,
Duh.
yeah.
I forgot. I always forget that I'm in charge of doing that.
Ah,
I forgot what I was even saying. Oh, yeah, we figured we would just be live streaming these hearings so that people can see what happens, what we've been seeing
yeah.
for years. We just always individually watch these, and we would just be messaging each other, But this time, we just figured we would live stream it when it happens, and so that we could show y'all how it happens, when it
Yeah.
happens, all that
And so
stuff.
you can see what happens too. So if, you ever are available to do them, like kind of what goes on behind the scenes. So you're not, because I mean, like when you first start doing these, hearings, you don't know how they go. You don't know how it's going to be and so it's like really intimidating. So I
Yeah,
think it's good that we're showing like our side of it so people can see it's not so bad.
yeah. You get I remember the first time I testified too. But when I did that, it was at my Capitol. And you kind of like when I got up there to the podium, you kind of like zone in.
Yeah.
Everything else around you is quiet, even though there's,
It's like on the movies. You just stop talking all of a sudden. Yeah, it's like on the movies where they're like, like the tunnel thing.
yes, sorry, I forgot to close it out of my tab, and so they were back from their recess, and they were talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can hear it.
But yeah, exactly. It's like you zone in, and I always like to equate it like I forgot what movie it was, but like when the NASCAR drivers, when they're about to start
Oh,
driving, they zone in. But yeah, we want to, that way you guys, if and when, I'm gonna say when you guys testify in your own cities or states or counties,
yes.
you will have the wherewithal, however you say that word, to know what to do.
And I mean, you can see like, what people are saying, what kind of like questions they might ask, other people's testimonies, you might think, I mean, there's like so many, what ifs, I mean, I could see being nervous. Heck, I'm still nervous because I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna mess up.
I get nervous every time.
You do not sound like you're always like, it's almost like you're just talking to another person. You're like a pro.
I don't even, and just like I told you earlier today, I was like, every time I don't remember everything that I said. It's not
Yeah.
until I go rewatch our streams later and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that made sense. Or, I critique myself,
Yeah.
That's how you perfect your craft of advocacy. So,
Well, I mean, hopefully there won't be too many more coming up, but now I will say come January, there's going to be a whole lot.
yeah.
Thank you, Bunny. I don't feel like it half the time. Well, we're our own worst critics anyway,
Yeah, we are. We are. And that's okay because Kratom saved us and we're allowed to critique ourselves.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what I tell myself, it's like, it's the message that matters.
Yeah.
Or like before I started doing the whole anything on video, like TikToks or anything, I was like, ooh, I'm not a camera person or a video person. And so I've gotten a lot better about it because the message is what's important, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna call it wrap it up, call it a wrap, whatever.
Until next time.
Yeah, until next time. Everybody have a good night. Thanks for
Yep.
coming.